Hey everybody, it's Chris and I'm back again to do another pour with you today. Today I'm going to do another version of the balloon. I think we're going to call this one a balloon smash. So I had done a balloon dip about a week ago and it did not go as planned, but I was able to save the painting and it turned out pretty cute. But I had a few comments on things that I could have tried, and so I thought I would take a couple of those comments today and do another painting. So I think today we're going to call this a smash because I'm going to put my puddles of paint down and then smash it with a balloon. But someone had commented that I should, because the balloon was like so pretty last week when I lifted it out of the paint, someone had commented that I should try to put that on a dry canvas. And I'm not sure that that would work great because I felt like it would leave kind of a raised mark on the canvas, but what I thought it would be cool as is coasters. So these are 4x4 tiles and I have already painted them with just the white acrylic paint. I used the white high flow acrylic from Michaels. So these have all had a coat of paint and they're completely dry. And I thought since those always get resin that it wouldn't matter if the impression was a little bit different depth than what the paint was. So hopefully that'll work out really well. So the colors I'm using today are Mineral Blue. That is a color from Soho. I'm using Prism Violet, which is, this is the Mineral Blue. And then I'm also using Prism Violet, which is a Liquitex Basics paint. And then Deep Magenta, which is another Liquitex Basics. And then I'm also using my Custom Silver because I like bling in my paintings. So these have all been mixed with my pouring mediums. I don't have any silicones in the paint. Last week I laid down a line of silicone white, or white paint that had a lot of silicone in it. And this week I am just going to just let my paints react with each other. And I put my apron on and now I have hairs on my canvas. So I've already prepped my canvas. This has already been poured with the white high flow acrylic paint. And I've let it sit for maybe 15 or 20 minutes because I thought maybe if the paint was a little bit drier, maybe it would react differently and I might have a little bit different result than what I had last week. I think my paint is still kind of thick on here, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can run some of this down off of here because I don't think I want it quite that thick. I want it to react, but I don't necessarily want it to pool up. I think that may have been one of my issues last week, is that my white paint was too thick on the canvas. So I'm just going to go ahead and tip this down. I'm working on a 12x24 today. As I said, I'm just going to put puddles of paint down and I want to work in different layers of color. And I think today I'm going to do something different. Normally I kind of do like a curve, but I think I want to have this one a little bit more graphic. So I'm thinking I'm going to run a line up this way and then down through here. So let's start with some Mineral Blue down here on the edge. And just create that first line so that I have something to follow. So my goal is to have different colors of blobs. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and just create my pattern right now so that I know exactly where I'm going. I think that'll be kind of cool, kind of different. Okay, and then this is the Prism Violet. So I'm going to layer that in with the Mineral Blue on some of them, and then some of them I will put the magenta in. Same way with here. And then I'm going to come back with the magenta and layer that down on top of some of these other paints. And I want to have a pretty solid line of colors, so I kind of want to make sure that I've got enough paint splatters here when I'm done. I'm going to put a little one right here too. And I like it when my patterns go off of the edge of the canvas. Oops, that was the same color. Okay. And then I'm thinking, so I'm just continuing to layer my colors. I don't really have a rhyme or reason to how I'm doing it. So just do what makes you happy. But I do want to have quite a bit of paint on here so that when I get ready to smash it, pink layer here so that I have enough paint. I do want to make sure that my color is throughout the whole painting, if that makes sense. Okay guys, I decided I would fast forward through that part because that was kind of painful even for me to watch. As you saw during the video, my silver bottle dropped right here in this part, so maybe this is a balloon smash slash bottle smash. Okay, so as you can see in the fast forward part, I just continued to layer all my paints up. Now I'm going to take the balloon, and because I have all of the same colors in my puddles, I'm not going to worry too much about wiping off the balloon between each puddle, but I do want to make sure that once I do have some really pretty color on here that I come up here and do the coaster. So I think we'll start down here on, actually I think I'm going to start right here where I smushed it, and I'm just going to gently go into the paint. And I have to say that looks pretty cool already, so let's see if we can do this onto a coaster. I'm just going to kind of try to go to the middle and then just roll it around. And that kind of gives us a swirl effect. We might come back and add some more to that, we'll see. All right, and then I'm just going to continue to go around on my colors and see what I can get to react with the balloon. And then I think this might be a good time to do another coaster. I'm just gonna try and see if I can't smush this paint all the way out. Yeah, I'm not so sure that's working so great. But that's all right. We're gonna continue with the painting. And I can see after I've smashed some of these guys by looking back that it's starting to react with my white paint, which is good. So I'm just gonna continue to smush these guys down and see what happens. I realize as I'm looking at this that once again I've chosen some of my favorite colors, but that's okay. You should do what makes you happy. All right, let's see if this is gonna work. Maybe I shouldn't move it around so much. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see if those react. It's not exactly what I was looking for though. I'll wipe this off a little bit on my plastic. This is definitely not the balloon smashes I've seen other people do for sure. I think I might need to work on this technique a little bit, but that's okay. It'll still be a cool painting when we're done, I think. All right, so I've got my lines now for the diagonal. I do feel like I have more paint that I could smash where it kind of pushed it out there instead of doing what I wanted it to do. But we'll just continue up this way. I like that I have that silver paint in there. I'll move this guy out of the way so it's not in direct contact with the... Okay, so I kind of feel like I need to come back on some of these areas where I still have kind of my paint sitting. All right. It's a different painting. It's very soft looking for sure. I think I've smashed all my paint now. And I've got some little bubbles out here, but that's okay. I'm gonna come right back here because I've got a big concentration of silver. There we go, mix that up just a little bit. And then I'm gonna come back up here to my first balloon, I think. And see if I can get a little bit more paint on there. Hoping that that will kind of, it's not doing exactly what I hoped it would do, I guess. And maybe I have just too much paint on my balloon. All right. I think we've got everything smashed. And I think we're just gonna leave that be and see if we can tilt it and get some cool stuff going with it. I'll come back up here and touch this balloon and see, put a little bit of that white paint on what I've done and maybe it'll do some cool stuff. All right, so I'm gonna set my balloon aside here and I'm gonna pick this up and see if I can tilt it a bit. I do wanna get these guys out of the way though. I don't think my coasters were a success, but that's okay. You never know unless you try. I think the painting is good, so we'll celebrate the painting. All right, so I'm just gonna tilt this a little bit and see if I can kind of move my color around and stretch it out a bit. I have a big concentration of paint right there in the middle. So I kind of want to just stretch that out just a tiny bit. Because right now I think I have way too much paint on the canvas, so it probably would not dry really well. Okay, well that's kind of interesting. Again, not quite what I was going for. It looked a lot better in my head. I'm just gonna go ahead and tilt this down, see if I can even out this paint a little bit. So I am going to go ahead and blow this around a bit, and once again, feel free to fast forward. Okay guys, so I ended up blowing the paint around a bit and I like it a lot more now. It kind of makes it look almost like petals, I think. And it definitely gave it, stretched out my paint a little bit, and I'm going to lift this up so that you guys can see a little bit closer up. I definitely have cells created from my pouring medium as well as the paint reaction with each other. So it's actually quite pretty now. I like it much better now that I've blown it. It's amazing what a straw can do for you. So the coasters definitely were not a success. Probably because I just didn't, yeah, they just didn't execute very well, but that's okay. Not everything turns out, but you never know unless you try. So I encourage you to always try. Not everything is going to be beautiful and not everything can be saved, but this time we were able to save the painting. If you have any questions, please let me know. I love to see all of your comments, and please like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching today. Bye-bye.